Hey everyone, today I'm going to try to reshoot a tutorial that I've already filmed. It was called, I think it was called Bronze Skin for Pale Girls, but unfortunately there wasn't enough light, so what I did, the look I created, didn't really show up. So I'm going to try to do it again, and hopefully this video will be a little bit more useful. So I've already cleansed my skin and moisturized. I'm just going to put this on to keep my hair out of my face. Ignore the pajamas and the unmade bed. I'm going to use Lasso's Extra Controlling Lotion. This is almost like a primer. I guess it sort of is a primer. It says Extra Controlling Lotion, Oil Control for Slightly Oily, so that would be me, just through my T-zone, to extremely oily skin. Lasso is a really nice brand. It was used by Marilyn Monroe, so it's been around since at least the 50s, if not earlier. I don't know the exact date, but I know I like it. I'm going to use Charlotte Tilbury's Wonder Glow. This is an instant soft focus beauty flash formula. It says turn around tired, dull skin in a beauty flash. Powered by a fluorescent core that converts UV light into skin luminosity for an instant soft focus spotlight effect. So now that I have that on, I don't know if you can see that, just gives you a little bit of luminosity. My skin isn't great right now. I don't know why. I don't know if that's from lack of sleep or stress, but I'm going to use NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. I'm using the color called DeVille. You can see that my nose is a little bit red because I was out in the sun this past week. I don't use a lot because it's a full coverage foundation. Just like 2 pumps, and then if I need more, I put it on later. And I'm going to apply this with, what is this called? Real Techniques buffing brush. So it's on my hand. Just do that. Ooh! Got it on my shirt. And then 4 points of the face. And then I just blend it in. Hopefully you can see this. Actually, I think you can see it better from far away. Anything would be better than the original video. The lighting was so poor. And I'm just in circular motions blending this into my skin, making sure not to miss my jawline, because if you have a line or the color changes, in my opinion, nothing looks worse than that. And I'm working quickly because once this settles, it stays in place really well. I really like this product, but once it settles, so you got to make sure that you get it on, you get it all on as quickly as possible around the same time, so it settles together. I don't know if I'm making any sense. You just don't want one part of your face to have the foundation on and to dry or to sink into your skin and then have the other side of your face not on yet, because then you don't get a consistent finish between the two sides. Maybe that made more sense, hopefully. Okay, from there, I'm using e.l.f.'s Under Eye Concealer and Highlighter. Looks like that. It's $4. I got it at Target. Canada doesn't have a Target anymore, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to start ordering this stuff online because I love it. Now, this might look like a lot of concealer. Some people out there are probably like, oh my gosh, what is she doing? I just put it on little spots that I have. But you blend this, and it's not nearly as much product as it may seem. This under eye concealer is more of a brightener, I would say, than a concealer. I'm going to use a different concealer after I blend this, and I'll explain why in a minute. So I'm using the Real Techniques pointed foundation brush to blend this. And you want to be extra careful around your eye area because the skin there is very fragile. You're starting to see a fairly significant difference between what I looked like when we started, or when I started. Why do women always say we? I read a study about that women tend to say we and men say I. I'm probably going to get comments now like, we're just watching for the makeup. Don't be a feminist. We don't want to listen to that. But I am definitely a feminist. Maybe a post-feminist? I don't know. Doesn't matter. so now that I've got the concealer on, I'm just going to pop a little bit more on because that blemish right here, which is like 100 years old, hasn't faded yet. So from there, I'm going to use NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Medium 1 Custard. This is a little bit darker than what I would normally use. That's why I use the e.l.f. concealer underneath, because that brightens, and then this just camouflages everything that I don't want shown. So with this concealer, you don't want to go too close to your eye because I find it creases. I don't have very many wrinkles, and it still sort of creases, despite how creamy it is. Flawless. Just kidding. From there, I'm using MAC's Pro Longwear Paint Pot in Painterly. And I'm just going to apply this with my finger. And this is just going to camouflage any blue or purple or darkness on my eyes. It also really helps to keep your shadow in place. It works as a primer. It's not heavy, it doesn't cake, it doesn't move. It's one of my favorite products. You can also wear it on its own. They come in a variety of different colors. This is just a color that really suits my skin tone. I'm going to apply some bronzer. I'm using the Physicians Formula bronzer in, what's it called? Glow Boosting Pressed Powder Light to Medium. I really like this bronzer. I've blogged about it before. If you follow the blog, what's beanHappening.com, you might have read about this, because I was talking about it. And I'm going to apply this with a contour brush. Again, the brush is from Real Techniques. It's a synthetic brush. Most of their brushes are synthetic, if not all. And I'm just following the hollow of my cheeks and drawing it on like this. And this just gives a little more structure to the face. It's not a severe contour because, like I said, that's not really my thing. Love it on some people, don't love it so much on myself. I like it when I put it on other people. I find certain face shapes are better suited for contouring. Anyone can contour. I'm changing it up a little bit. Right now I'm using the MAC 129 brush, which I like but I don't love because it molts, which means it loses its fibers or its hairs. I think this is a natural bristle brush. If not, it's at least partially natural. And I'm just using this to add a little bit more color to my cheeks and to blend. I'm using Stila's Custom Color Blush in Self-Adjusting Coral. It looks like that, somewhat like that. The Liz Wautier blush brush to apply. Because this is a powder formula, you don't want to put too much on because it is, I've blogged about this product as well, it's highly pigmented. You don't want to look like a clown. So it's easy to build up. So what I try to do is I just put on a little bit, and if I find I haven't put on enough, then I'll put more on. But you're always better off with not enough than too much. I love this product. I find it just really wakes up my face. And I am quite a pale girl, really. So a little blush never hurt. It's a healthy glow. My nose is so red. I am going to apply a little bit of a shadow. I don't know where my shadow went. Okay, I'm using a Stila palette in Soul, Eyes Are the Window to the Soul. I love this palette. It has matte colors and, sorry, a lot of reflection on there. It has matte colors and shimmery colors. I'm going to start off with a MAC 217 brush, and I'm going to apply just a pale white color called Bean. It's a matte color. I'm just going to put that all over my lids just to brighten my eyes. With the same MAC 217 brush, oh, you can see my burn a little bit now, I'm going to apply another color just in the crease. This color is called Individual, And it's that color right there. This is the first color I used. The second is sort of a reddish brown color. And I'm just applying that in the crease of my eye, like that. I'm creating a sort of a V, if you can see that, from the corner of my outer eye into the crease, and I'm just blending. You don't want to go too far into the inner corner. And again, it just brightens up the eye just a little bit, gives you a little bit more definition. I'm going to do the same on this eye. Now that that's applied, I'm going to use another clean MAC 217 brush to apply a darker color. This is called, I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's called light, but it's very dark. You'd think that would be called light. Maybe I have it mixed up. I'm not sure. But I'm using this color, this dark brown color, just to create a little bit of a smoky effect at the very end of my eye. Again, in a V formation. If you have decent brushes, they should do the work for you. All you should really need to do is a windshield wiper motion, and that should go on fairly nicely, depending on what products you use. I mean, if you're using crappy products or dirty products, you're not going to get as nice of effect as you would if you're using something, you know, that's higher quality. Usually, sometimes you can get inexpensive shadows that work just as well as expensive shadows. You just need to know what works for you, and the only way you learn that is through experimenting. I find foundation and shadows are probably the #1 product that people don't blend enough. I look at people's faces and I think, oh, that's such a beautiful shadow. If only you had blended it. It's a lot of work, looking good. Okay, from there, I'm going to curl my lashes. I'm using the MAC eyelash curler. I really like this one. I actually like this eyelash curler more than the cult classic Shui Mara eyelash curler. I just find it easier to use, and it fits my eye socket better. And be extra careful not to pinch the skin at the base of your lashes, because that hurts, and you can actually pull your lashes out. Don't do this in the back of a cab. Take it from a girl who knows. I've done it in the back of a cab. I've pulled out my eyelashes. It does not feel good. It feels terrible, and it looks terrible. And I'm just combing my lashes out just a tiny bit. Right now I'm applying the Bourjois mascara that I've used in other videos. It's called the Volume Glamour Max mascara. I love this brush. It's very similar to the mascara by L'Oreal called Voluminous Lashes, which is also a cult classic, except this brush is slightly smaller in length and in width, so it's easier to get to the very base of your lashes when you're applying it, which I like a lot. And you're less likely to smudge in the inner corner of your eye, even though I just did. But I'm just going to wipe that off. So that's the eyelashes done. I'm highlighting with Benefit's What's Up. It's just a sample size. It's a really beautiful product, and there's nothing prettier than a subtle highlight in the summer. And actually, I'm just going to apply that right at the top of my lip. This is called the Cupid's bow, and that'll be really pretty when I apply lip gloss, which I'm just about to do. Again, I'm using my hands. I like to use my hands to apply my makeup. Just make sure your hands are clean. Finish off my skin, I'm using Rimmel's Stay Matte Long Lasting Pressed Powder in 001 Translucent, and I'm going to apply that with the Real Techniques Multitask Brush. Just throughout my T-zone. You don't want to cover your whole face in this, because then you're going to lose that pretty glow, and that's what this look is all about. Okay, and then finally, I'm using Max Lipstick It's a glaze. It's called Hue. It's one of my favorite all-time favorite colors from MAC. It looks like it's a little warmer than it appears on camera. So it's just a very soft pink. And then over top of that, I'm using Smashbox Lip Enhancing Gloss in Afterglow. It's a really beautiful color. My hair's crazy, so I still have to do my hair. But it's subtle, it's pretty, it's warm. My arms are so burnt. And this is what's been happening. Hopefully you like it. If you did, remember to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you want to check out the blog, there's more products there, www.whatsbeenhappening.com, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!